Well, good afternoon, Christa. It's wonderful to see you on this beautiful September afternoon, September 18th.
Good to see you too, Betty. You look beautiful and radiant, and
Thank
your
you.
energy looks great.
Oh, thank you. You look beautiful as always. I like your little kitty cat in the background.
Oh, thank you.
So it's great to be here back with you. I always look forward to when I know that we're going to speak. It just kind of puts a little lift in my spirit.
Me too. Well, I'm really curious what's going on. I know the energy here, I hardly made it through the new moon. And here we are now. I'm doing a little better now. And what's going on?
Well, yeah, the new moon, this was a big one. This was a one, I mean, did you feel like any releasing energy? Did you do any like were you cleaning or like throwing things out?
I did, and I was just sitting with it a lot, just sitting with my feelings a lot, and I'm crying and just kind of letting it all out. And
that's wonderful. That's what I was doing.
It's hard to do, but when you do it, then the next day your eyes are a little puffy, but you feel better.
And that's what that new moon was. It was the purging of all of the old things that hold us back, all of the things that we hold inside. So it was a cleaning of our house, meaning our spirit. It could be, physically removing things from our closets and going through clothes, and it could be, but it really basically is to just make room for the new.
Right.
And I have some more news that may not be so exciting, but
but
it's good to know, because this is a process, and I want when I explain what's happening, I want to be clear that it does have a happy ending, and everything is for purpose. There's some really intense. Well, we have a full moon coming on the 24th. That is, September 24th. And I'm going to talk about that, but I wanted to first talk a little bit about what's happening with Venus, because this is intense. We just came off of Mars retrograde. So that was really intense. And Mars is making some funky aspects with the planet Uranus. So there's been a lot of intense weather, volcanoes, earthquakes, a lot of security breaches. My credit card got hacked. I had to get a new credit card.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
And it also happened to some people that I know. It just, random, so I mean, it was okay, but it's just annoying because you have to go through and renew all your.
Right, everything, yeah.
So but I mean, I guess it's fun, but that's the kind of the energy that's going on, but that's passing now. So Venus and Mars are the cosmic lovers. It's the masculine and the feminine energy.
Oh, wow.
So Mars goes out and gets what Venus wants. And, Venus has got to decide what she wants. So there's, I guess, I'll just start and then it'll all come together, hopefully. So on September 3rd, Venus entered into her shadow at 25 degrees of Libra. Now, when Venus is in Libra, she's very comfortable. It's a ruling sign. So what that means is when it's in shadow, it means that this is the point that Venus will retrograde back to when she goes retrograde for 40 days. And then, so it's not technically considered retrograde, but it really is in effect. And so on October 5th, she will physically go retrograde at 10 degrees of Scorpio. She will go direct again November 15th at 25 degrees of Libra, but she will not clear her shadow until December 17th.
Oh, wow. It's in for a long haul.
It's a long haul. So that's why I want to really let people know what's going on, because this is Venus, of course, and also in the signs of Libra and Scorpio, this is intense relationship. A lot of self-worth, but also it's going to be highlighting relationships will be tested. Now, there's not the strong ones will make it.
Right.
They will, and the ones that are not so strong will probably fall away. It's a great time for clearing. It follows the pattern after the purging of the new moon in Virgo. Now we're having the full moon. This full moon is going to be a real doozy. Oh, the moon is in Aries and it's going to be conjunct Chiron, which is the wounded healer. It is a powerful, amazing, beautiful aspect, but it's getting to the treasure, it's kind of like Indiana Jones. Like you know where but getting to it is a real problem.
A wild ride. Yeah.
It's a wild ride. It's a wild ride. So I mean, the healer is heal yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do it, you know, on the other side of it, now that's your greatest gift.
Sure.
It's just so what I'm saying is that there's a lot of opportunity now to really get into your unique self, into your roots, into who you are and why you're here. But it's going to involve a lot of falling away of things that we hold on to out of fear. And that's going to highlight a lot of relationships. Venus in Scorpio is really, really intense. It's all or nothing.
Right.
And Scorpio, well, Venus is our desires, and Scorpio is the deep, dark, musty corners that nobody talks about. It's the stuff that we hide from everybody and even from ourselves.
Right.
So it's about being honest that sometimes what we need and what we desire and what we want may be selfish, may be dark, may be now she's going to kick off her retrograde. This is very interesting, the way the universe plays these little games. We've got a great sense of humor.
Absolutely.
Mars is going to be clearing his shadow on October 5th at 10 degrees of Aquarius, exactly squaring Venus as she enters into her retrograde at 10 degrees. So that's the cosmic lovers are not getting along. Mars in Aquarius is very unique, very my own drum. I don't care what other people think, and it's above it all. It's not attached to what my neighbors think about me or what, you know, it's not attached to any, it is who it's genius. It's marching to your own drum. Now, Venus in Scorpio is very attached to money, how it looks, to what, you know, and it wants complete surrender from its partner. We must want the same things. We must merge. We must be going the same way. You know, I want all of you. Mm-hmm. And, you know, Mars in Aquarius is like, you know, relax. So it's tense. It's tense that Mars, that Scorpio Aquarius energy, they both are very powerful and both very intuitive in very different ways. Aquarius is above it all. It's on the mountaintop. It looks down with that bird's eye view. It's not attached to the outcome. It's not attached to the, you know, Scorpio is very powerful because it's in it, and it's that intense intuition that it's like being in the jungle and naked at night. Like
Yeah, it's wild.
Like that intensity, you know?
Yeah.
And it's powerful because it's powerful through your feelings. I can feel my environment, but it's very attached. So it's the kind of energy that makes you feel like staticky inside. You know, when you're too attached to something and you can't see it.
Right.
So it's inviting us to hold space in very uncomfortable waters. To see what we're like, to take a big bird's eye view at what am I doing? What's going on here? What am I holding on to? Like when you sometimes I find myself, like if I'm stressed or upset, and clenching my fists. And I've been, you know, do you do that?
Or I'll clench my jaw.
Yeah, like holding on.
Yeah.
So I consciously now force myself to open my hands and to receive wisdom.
That's good.
That's
yeah.
what the Mars is trying to say. And, you know, Mars is going to be moving along. It's going to feel easier, but this is going to be tough. It's 40 days and 40 nights that Venus goes into the underworld here.
How ironic.
I know, it's very symbolic. It's very symbolic. And it's a death. It's not a death in the physical, but it's a death of, you know, Scorpio is the phoenix. It's a constant death and rebirth.
Maybe of your ego or a part of yourself.
Absolutely. The parts of ourselves that keep us holding on to things that don't serve us out of fear. And so, like I said, relationships will be tested. I do recommend during this period not to do anything rash, because when Venus is retrograde, it makes things more intense. So I always like to say, of course, if a relationship is, you know, unhealthy or abusive or, you know, it doesn't matter what's going on in the sky, leave.
Right. It's not good for you.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. But I mean, normally, see, this is going to make things worse. Like, it's going to make things feel like really highlighted, like, there's your damn shoes in the middle of the floor again.
Yeah.
And instead of just being like, okay, you know, you might.
Whatever.
Right, my club would be like, you son of a bee, you know.
Yeah.
Overreactive, like very sensitive. No, that's a silly.
It's good to know in a way.
What's really good to know, that's why I wanted to talk a lot about this, because it having information is power. You know, it's to know, okay, this is what's happening. I'm going to feel triggered. It's going to be tense. Okay, but I want to also let everybody know at the end of all of this cycle, Mars and Venus will trine. When Venus goes back into her Scorpio, she's going to trine Mars in Pisces at the end of the cycle. So we've got to look at the big picture and not just, and that's what I really want to invite everybody to do, because this is going to feel like we're looking at our life like this through a keyhole. I want to remind everybody to look at your life in the big, I'm losing the screen, in the big picture. Not one moment, one instance, one day. It's going to bring up a lot, but you'll have to remember, it's very intense. So things are going to feel like life or death. When Venus goes back into Libra, we're going to be like, is it really that big of a deal? You know?
Right. So there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Libra's very like, okay, well, can we get along? Can we compromise? What's the big problem? Calm down, you know?
Right. But while you're going through it, you forget that.
But also now I wanted to say with the full moon, I don't like to be doom and gloom, but I just want people to have awareness, because it's an incredible healing opportunity that we're getting. If we can keep that mindset, it's hard to do, but it helps the mindset. So on the full moon is going to be September 24th, I think around 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So Monday night. This coming Monday, the 24th, you know, but we're going to start to feel a little bit before, a little bit after. You always feel the full moon like coming up. Now the moon in Aries is not comfortable. The Aries is, you know, I am me, dynamic, and the moon is emotions and feelings, and it's already uncomfortable in it. It's like putting like a big burly construction worker man in like a dress.
In a ballet class or something.
It's not comfortable, you know?
Right.
It's very awkward. So, and then the moon is going to join up with Chiron, which I said is the wounded healer. There's, I don't want to bore everybody. That's about, Chiron is a centaur that he was given eternal life by the gods because he was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant, wise, alchemist. He was just an astrologer, brilliant. I mean, this guy was top notch. He made an arrow, a poison arrow, to give to one of the gods for a war they were fighting. It landed on his foot. Some people say he was hit with it. I heard that he dropped it. I guess it really, 12 of one, a dozen of the other. It doesn't matter, but he got the arrow in his foot. Right. And it was you couldn't heal it. So he was in excruciating pain. That's why they call him the wounded healer.
Oh, I didn't know. That's neat.
And there's a lot more to the story. It's actually fascinating. I think it was Prometheus. One of them, Kronos, got, he was a cranky guy. And I should probably have done my research before I started talking about this with the names. But one of the guys he tied up at the ocean. And every day,
that was Prometheus.
Okay, yeah, and they would come and eat his liver, and then it would grow back.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And then, Chiron took his place.
Oh, I didn't know. Oh.
Yeah, he took his place, but I think it was for 7 days and 7 nights, and then everybody loved Chiron. Though everybody loved him, he was like the OJ before he killed it. Just like the sweetheart of the world. Everybody loved him. And so they were like, you can't do this to Chiron. You just can't. So the powers that be took him out, threw him up into the sky, into the constellation, relieved him of his torture.
Yeah.
And so now he sits up in the heavens and influences us. So unexamined or left to the unconscious, it's very painful. It's the wound, wherever Chiron is in your chart, in anybody's chart, is the wound that we come in with, that all the drugs, therapy, yoga, meditation isn't going to make go away. The only way is to raise the vibration, to go into it, to die into it, and come out the other side with wisdom, and then go forth and be a healer to other people with that. It's that school of hard knocks.
Yeah, we've all been there.
Yeah, it's that gut wrenching. This is the thing that just, really gets you. That doesn't really go away. So fun stuff. So when it goes, it's gonna oppose. You gotta have a sense of humor, right?
Absolutely.
It's going to oppose the sun in Libra. It's gonna really highlight. And the good news is, with the Aries, that this is going to give us the strength, because Aries is the warrior. Aries is brave. This is going to give us the strength to say, you know what? I can't do this anymore. I can't stay in this toxic vibration, whatever it may be, at work, in a family dynamic, in a relationship. It's just going to make it so apparent, so uncomfortable that it's impossible now with these energies. Like we want to think of it as a whole, what I talked about with Venus and Scorpio, now with this full moon and all, it's always patterns, it's always cycles. It's creating one where we're just, and also too, what's very important to give everybody a little heads up is, think about 8 years ago, because Venus every 8 years makes a cycle. I'm sure you know this. She makes the star, the 5-pointed star. And
I didn't know. That's really cool.
Yeah, she does. Venus she aligns with the golden ratio. She is exactly this. I think it's 3.14, which is the exact same distance from the sun. From the Earth. She lines up with all of the golden ratio.
Right. The golden fee or
yes.
3.1.
So every 8 years through her retrograde cycles, she ends up in the same place. She makes perfect, symmetry. That's why Venus is associated with beauty.
I am the 5-pointed star. That makes sense. Oh.
Yeah, and beauty, because the symmetry.
Right.
And it's incredible. So if we can give ourselves up to this perfection and realize that we're part of a whole, if you think about the cycles and how perfect they are and how beautiful they are and how they've been doing, yes, it's going to be uncomfortable, but think about what was happening 8 years ago. This will give you, especially with relationships, into a relationship 8 years ago, because it's exactly the same timing, around August, September, it started. So think about what was going on 8 years ago, because this is kind of a culmination of that cycle. Venus is ending that 8-year cycle that she started 8 years ago when she went retrograde in Scorpio, back into Libra. It's a very karmic time. People will come into our lives, relationships will fall away. As hard as this advice is, let them go, because then it's making room for something new.
That's right. I know. And I had read a quote that said something like, for the people that want to stay, let them stay. And if they want to go, let them go. And be okay with that too on the other end, if maybe you're the one that got left.
I think it's all, again, coming to do with faith and realizing who we are, that we are eternal beings of light.
Absolutely.
We're part of this cycle. We're part of the universe. And I guess to play the game right, we have to forget.
Yeah, I know. And we forget so much. It's crazy.
and this is, I want everybody to just know that this is going to be challenging. This isn't, and I don't like to be doom and gloom. I'm not that way at all.
Sure.
But I have to be honest. This one is going to hurt. letting go. It's like the execution of what it's like knowing what you have to do. And then the execution is just so hard. It's
right.
to figure out what I need, where I want to be. How is this, where do I want to be in a year from now? And is what I'm doing now
aligned with that?
And if it's not, you have to say to yourself, is this what I want to continue doing? Because we can do that.
Yeah. But then there's that quote, an unexamined life is not worth living. So.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But it's going to bring up everything that we've been hiding from ourselves. See, Scorpio goes into the depths, so we can hide from ourselves. You know, maybe people drink a lot or smoke a lot or watch TV or at the phone or whatever. You just pretend that it's not happening. It doesn't bother me.
Right.
This energy is going to be like, it's coming in and ripping the sheets off of you, turning the lights on. I mean, there's nowhere to hide. There's nowhere.
You're exposed. Oh, man.
Everything is exposed. Where is it hurt? Where is it broken? And really seeing that we all have to take responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Even if we're in a relationship that is disappointing, and we have to take responsibility. And that's, well, the Aries will help with that, because that gives us that, yeah, I can do this. It's just kind of like taking off on an adventure, not really knowing where you're going, how it's going to end, but just knowing I'm going to do this.
Yeah, I think I've certainly been there.
Yeah, I'm sure. But I think everybody has it.
Yeah.
But I do want to say that it doesn't mean that every relationship is going to fall apart. So again, exercise caution.
Sure.
Don't overreact and do something
You regret.
Yeah, because like I said, if it's not an abusive relationship, or you haven't been, if you see, this is the key. Have you been thinking about this for a long time, or is it just happening now?
Mm-hmm.
To like realize it's just like the weather. So if it's cold, you put a coat on. So it's just like, you're going to feel annoyed with people in your life. And if this is kind of new, take the information, look at it, but don't make any life-changing decisions if this is new to you. If this is something that has been, this is going to give us that diving board. It's going to give us that portal that when, it's going to be that push off the cliff.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. It's good. Yeah. But you know what? It's also so powerful too, that with the faith and I feel the universe really rewards bravery. And especially, I think, if you step off to your higher self and you just step into the unknown, I feel like you fly.
Yeah. And if you kind of look back at the times when you did do that, even though it was terrifying, you landed,
Yes. And
somehow
also in a better place.
Yeah. And then you can also project it forward and see, where did that take me? Well, to
this.
To wonderful places that you just can't even dream of. So it's good, it's scary, but it can be very rewarding too. But it can also, could it be like a time, would you say, like of your dark night of the soul, where you're going to go into that kind of underworld, surrendering, letting go, and then coming out on the other end, maybe better for it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. That's exactly it. That's beautiful. That it is really dying to yourself, dying to all the things, I think we've talked about this before too, but like the things that we wanted when we were young, we keep growing and evolving. And so the things that we wanted 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 5 months ago,
or this 8-year Venus cycle ago.
This is a big one. And I have to say, Venus is pissed. Because
I think I've been feeling a little bit of that. I've been listening to some angry women music.
Yes, well, that's good. Get into it, because that's what I'm saying. Like, get in, have the ritual, go with it. When in Rome.
Yeah, right.
You can't beat him.
I'll play it for Gerald, and he's like, yeah, not feeling it.
It's very feminine.
Maybe that was just for me. Yeah.
But no, but it's okay. But it's all right to feel, because Venus in Scorpio, she doesn't hide her emotions, and if she's intense, she loves hard, she fights hard. Venus is all related to the planet of love and beauty, but it's also war. It's also like fighting for these things.
Sure. Yeah.
And self-worth,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a big one.
Huge for everyone.
Absolutely.
Really.
And so I guess, especially people, I also want to say too, Mars has been squaring on and off with this Uranus. It's a real kick in the pants, but that's kind of over for now. We could put a pin in it. It will be back, but it creates, and I know a lot of my clients, it's, and I feel it, and I'm sure you feel it. It's a lot of static energy of just like aggravation and just feeling like irritated.
Mm-hmm.
That things aren't taking 2 steps in this direction, but now I have another block.
Right.
And it's kind of that battering ram.
Mm-hmm.
Which I guess sometimes we have to do. But this is going to bring it all up to the surface. And so people with fixed signs, like Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, and Aquarius, they are feeling, and they're getting hit a lot. And it's not like you're Pisces, but you've got tons of Aquarius.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just your sun sign. You've got to look like also it will clear a path though. So if we can try to breathe through it, maybe go on to do some yoga with you.
Yeah.
And help, that would be great too when you're doing, because congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Teacher training certification. That's amazing.
Thank you.
And are you, because I've said it before, but I've never seen anybody who is more yoga than you.
Oh, I see it all the time on Instagram. I'm like, oh man, I could be so much better. We're always like that, huh?
I don't know. I see you as, you are like a rubber band. You embody it. It's
just, thank you. The structural integration surely helps. It's like getting 20 years of yoga to you, so you really get, your fascia and everything more free, so you can become more flexible, and that really plays a difference. And I finished the testing on that end too, so I'm all tested out.
That's amazing. And you're the good that you're going to do in this world is just, it's overwhelming, because you are such a healer.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, well, thank you. You're welcome. But I'm honored to know you. And now having these in your bag of tricks.
Yeah, I know. It's just, I've done one class since then, and then I've got more in the pipeline that I'm working up to do. I'm working on a meal plan series, so I'm kind of ate up with food, literally.
I'm so excited about your meal plan series, because now that it's back to school, back down to, I made your chili.
Oh, you did? Oh my God. Did you like it?
I loved it. I cheated. I didn't make the sausage. I bought veggie burgers.
Oh, perfect. Easy. Even better.
I figured that, because I was like, I was feeling a little overwhelmed. I was like, well, this is, I can do it.
Yeah.
So I cheated with the veggie burgers, but the rest.
I would cheat more. I just don't have that option in my town, so I have to do everything from scratch.
Well, I think I wish that I did do that, because it's healthier.
Yeah, but sometimes it's, you'll get it done if you do it. So, more power.
That's what I figured. I was like, let me just do this and see. But I loved it. It's delicious.
Yay! Oh, good. Thank you so much. That means so much to me.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Keep it up. And I was thinking too, with your yoga, this is a good thing to keep in mind, that people like the clearing of like the anger, like anything to really move the energy.
Yeah. I have one. It's like a goddess flow, and it's not so stagnant where you're holding your postures for too long, or for a while, which is good and fine. But it's more, I'm going to move through all this. And it's good, because sometimes you just need to move.
I love it. I love it.
I'll keep that in mind, to keep the energy moving.
I tune in and I do your yoga classes. I try. I do what I can, but I love them. I love the way that you present. I love your energy, and it's I love it.
Thank you. Yeah, I definitely think a home practice, no matter who it's with, or even just a little bit each day, you can take it, do it, and even if it's 5 minutes, and you just do a sun salutation or a deep breath, or even just breathe. Or when I was straightening my hair today, I was just breathing, and I thought, well, see, you can add it in anywhere.
You can make your life a meditation if it's what you choose.
Right. Yeah. So I guess with all this energy, maybe doing some extra affirmations, some Louise Hay, maybe some themes to keep the inner landscape positive throughout all this might be beneficial.
Absolutely. It will be beneficial. You need to be mindful through this. And I'm going to say this too. It's important with this energy to allow, not to get lost in it. There's a difference between getting lost in it, but to allow that mourning. And it's not getting stuck in, without getting stuck in being a victim. But to say, you know what, especially with relationships and, thinking about, so 2010, at the August, September of 2010, what was going on, what was ending, what was beginning. It's a similar theme. And a lot of times when you throw it in, with Venus like this, she puts her heart and soul into it.
Right.
And to come to a place now where maybe it didn't work out. There's a lot of bitter feelings and regret. And it's important to let that up and out.
Right, and not just pretend it doesn't exist.
Yes. Yeah. And it's to let it up and out, to honor it and to feel it and release it without getting stuck. That if we suppress it, it will sabotage us. If we let it take us over, we can get stuck in that victim. There's no power there.
Yeah, you've got to take your power back, right? So
this is a challenging one to navigate, but the trick is because Scorpio, it's intense. Mm-hmm. And it's not easy for people to hold that energy.
Yeah.
But getting in touch with your intense, deep feelings that, what is true. It's not what you would like to be true or what people tell you should be true. What is true? How do you feel? It doesn't matter.
And then how can you be true to yourself? And that's an act of integrity towards yourself in the highest way.
Yes, but I think there's a lot of bitterness and it's like a bad taste in your mouth.
Yeah.
So it's important to feel the anger, mm-hmm. recognize why you're feeling it, mm-hmm. what it's about, healthy without, beating other people. Or,
yeah.
I think I recommend writing very harsh letters to people that you're not going to send.
Wow, just to release it?
To release it. And then maybe writing a letter afterwards. Because, I think when you do that and you're not going to send it, you get in touch with how you feel. Because sometimes we don't really know. Until you're writing, you're like, oh, yeah, that happened. And then this, and you son of a boop, and this.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you're not going to send it, because if you're going to send it to somebody, I think you're going to try
curate it.
Well, you're going to try to be kind of cute about it or smart about it. It is not about what other people think. It's how do I feel?
Right.
Getting in touch with that and then having the anger, the mourning, and then the release.
Yeah.
Because the good news is we get to start again. It's a whole new cycle. So something new will come in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So those are also wanted to tell you, I wanted to give a hot button day. October 11th, did I mention this already, is when Mars and Venus will directly square. Mm. So that's like a trigger day. So these days, the 5th of October, the 11th of October, the 15th of November, and of course the 24th of September when we have the full moon. These are trigger days. Mm. So those are good days to do your yoga, do your affirmations, do your breathing, be mindful, practice being mindful, because if we get unconscious,
we could do something we regret.
Yes. And we could also do damage to other people.
Mm-hmm. Which we don't want, because then, more karma to live through in the next cycle.
Exactly. It's never ending. Exactly. But that's why I recommend kind of getting in touch with the feelings, getting out in front of it. Get in touch with it. And it's okay to be angry. It's okay to be resentful. It's okay to be. Emotions only hurt us if we do, they don't last.
Right.
Feel them.
Right.
And release them, and then it's on to the next. They're like waves.
Yeah.
they come in and they go out and they don't last. That's why I'm saying this is a tricky one, because these are going to be intense and people don't like. Some people find it very challenging. I know I do, and
I do. Yeah, I find it hard to sit with it, but sometimes I'll make myself just to face it and, you know, and process it.
Water, people with a lot of water, because I have tons of Scorpio energy myself. So I'm not saying it's easy for me, but I can do it. And
Right.
you've got that Pisces, the water can.
Mm-hmm.
It can do it. It can hold it. But it's also, then you got to release it.
Yeah.
That's the trick. People with a lot of air signs, like Libra, Aquarius, Gemini, they find it very hard. They can't sit in that.
Right.
But you can. The thing is, it doesn't come natural. But if you mindfully do it.
Right. Just pitch your ethereal tent and sit in it.
Just, you know, that's why I recommend writing the letters, because it's like, wow, I didn't even realize how mad I was, or how upset I was, or how hurt I was, or.
That's a great idea. Yeah, I find when I journal, even just journal, or, you know, I did a little bit last night before we talked, just to kind of, we're talking tomorrow. And it just helps me process all my thoughts and feelings, and then I feel better.
And you know what? The full moon, this is a wonderful time to do it, because the moon loves rituals.
Mm.
So do it on Sunday night, write that letter, and then Monday, when you got the full moon, go out in the light of the full moon and burn it.
I love it.
You know, because then you release it. You don't want to hold, like I'm saying, to stir these things up to get them out.
Right, not to stew.
Yes. So face it, express it, and then when you burn it, you know, say, but to be safe, you know, get like a metal pan. You don't want to
Sure. Oh my God.
be on fire. But, you know, release it and say, now I free you and I free me.
Right.
And then, you know, have you heard of Ho'oponopono? That when I first heard this, I was like, oh, please. I thought it was silly, but I think there's something to it. There was a psychiatrist, this doctor, and he went to work at a mental institution, like for the criminally insane.
Oh, wow. And
nobody could help there. It was like it was such an upheaval, toxic environment with, you know, a bunch of crazy murderers all around. And so, the directors would leave, or they couldn't find anybody to stay there.
Oh my gosh, right.
So this guy came in, I forgot his name, but Ho'oponopono, and he had this technique where he would just sit with the files, and he would say, I apologize, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And that clears the energy. So even doing it with ourselves,
mm-hmm.
doing it with, and because there is no separation.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody hurt me, it's you know, we have to give each other a break, I feel, because
absolutely,
we set this up. We're actors in a state, you know, we're in a movie, we need these lessons. So to be angry and hate and to hold on to that is just poison.
Absolutely.
So I mean, sometimes it's more challenging than others, and you know, and it's all right, you know, but just to be willing to do this, even if you don't really feel this, it aligns your consciousness.
Right.
Saying, I apologize. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you.
Yeah. And, you know, and I forgive myself. You know, a lot of times we beat ourselves up so much and we hold on to it. And then another one I like is like if you're angry or annoyed or irritated with someone, or they annoy you maybe, and then instead of being like, I'm so irritated with you, and you can bless them with love. That's the thing we say, but I really like it, and I find it works, and it diffuses the energy in some way. It just kind of meters it out. It's hard to do at sometimes, sure, but if you can, then and truly mean it, then it just kind of diffuses that energy right away.
I agree 100%. And I this is what I tell my clients, and I believe this. We're hurting ourselves. It's not like we don't want to let the other person off. We don't want to, but holding on to that anger is drinking poison. Like the Buddha says, being angry is like holding on to a hot stone and expecting to hurt the other person.
Yeah, not get burned. You're right.
Forgiveness is extremely selfish. It's extremely selfish. It's releasing that toxin, that poison inside of you.
Right.
So but I think if we can realize that there is no separation and we're doing this dance together,
yeah,
it's all part of it.
Yeah, and if we keep in mind that at any given point we're doing our best, like I'm doing my best, you're doing your best, we're all trying to do our best. And if we keep that in mind, then we can be kind of compassionate towards the other person. Well, they were probably doing the best they could in that moment. I don't really know what life circumstance or what astrological sign they fall under or what's going on in their life. So I can have compassion knowing that in this moment they're probably trying to do their best and I am. And that kind of also diffuses it.
Absolutely. I agree with you. And that's a lot of also too, this Aquarius Scorpio energy. What you just said summed it up beautifully. I think you are an astrologer.
Oh no, I watch weekly. I'm like, what's going on? So I'm so honored and I love that I get to talk to you. And I'm already like, want to write down those key dates.
Well, I'll send them to you. I love talking to you. You're such a breath of fresh air, and I feel so blessed to have you in my life and to have this support. Thank you. So I think we said it all, right?
I think so. I think it was a good run. I hope everyone enjoyed. Thank you for tuning in and joining us.
Thank you so much for watching, and I guess until next time.
Yeah, blessings everyone, and hope you get
hold
through
on
it.
tight, okay? Don't hold on tight. I don't know. It's gonna be a wild ride. Buckle up.
Yeah.
All right. Until next time.
Okay. Bye, everyone. Bye, Betty.